This is Goku-san, DBZ, and I'm going to be doing a very special Top 12, and yes, it's Monday, and I will try this evening to get at least 2 of the 4 comic book reviews done. But I was feeling inspiration today for a special Top 12. Now, some of the spots are going to end up having 2 or 3 characters because it's too hard with a Top 12 to only have 1 character per spot. Given this is a very rich universe so far, 7 games and going. And it's a very special franchise that's near and dear to my heart. Speaking of heart, Kingdom Hearts. This is going to be the top 12 Kingdom Hearts characters. So, protagonists, antagonists, also, of course, characters exclusive to the franchise, as well as Disney, and, of course, Final Fantasy or Square characters. So, and today I will be doing, of course, the honorable mentions first. Now, these are fan favorites, and as well as opinions, of course, on Tumblr, Facebook, Google+, and as well as looking on different videos here and there on RPGs and game reviews and things on YouTube. And on Twitter, of course. And here's the honorable mentions, and quite a few I might add. I'll try to keep this as short as possible, but it's not going to be easy with the list of characters. Okay, honorable mentions. First up, Ursula. Which, of course, is the great baddie of the, obviously, the Little Mermaid universe. Clu, a villain from Tron Legacy World, or Clu 2, if you will. Zack, from, of course, which was in Kingdom Hearts Birth by Sleep, but originally from, of course, Final Fantasy VII Crisis Core. Jiminy Cricket, obviously from the Disney universe. The Disneyverse, if you will. Yen Sid, which has been in multiple games. Huey, Dewey, and Louie. The 3 brothers, of course. Interesting names, of course, obviously. On next honorable mentions, the Queen of Hearts from Alice in Wonderland World. Master Urquis from Birth by Sleep. Alice, obviously from Alice in Wonderland. Tarzan from Tarzan. Peter Pan. Sid from, of course, Final Fantasy VII, obviously, but in Trevor's Town. And then Hollow Bastion, which was originally Radiant Gardens. Mulan, obviously from you know what. Beast from Beauty and the Beast. Simba from The Lion King. Tron from Tron, or The Grid, if you will. Stitch from Lilo and Stitch. Frollo from, of course, Hunchback of Notre Dame, and from Dream Drop Distance, obviously. Ansem the Wise. Exclusive character, obviously, to the Kingdom Hearts universe. Oogie Boogie. Captain Hook. And also, I didn't originally have on the list, but also a little head nod to a couple of other characters before I get started. And those head nods go out to Scrooge McDuck. And, of course, obviously, Quasimodo from Hunchback of Notre Dame. And Pinocchio. And that's the last of the special honorable mentions. Now, tied between 3 characters at number 12. First, Ariel from The Little Mermaid, Cloud from Final Fantasy VII, Seven Crisis Core, Advent Children movie, and so on and so forth. And of course, the remake coming out, and of course, Kingdom Hearts. And the third and final type for number 12, Jafar. Now, as I said, this probably was one of the hardest lists to put together to actually rank these characters. And even if it's 2 or 3 characters per spot, it's still not easy when you think how rich the Kingdom Hearts verse is. And how many fan favorite characters you have from Disney and Square, combined with the fan favorites that are exclusively characters to the Kingdom Hearts universe. And for me personally, my favorite all-time RPG or JRPG franchise is Final Fantasy. My close number 2 is Kingdom Hearts, personally, for me. Hands down, my second favorite RPG franchise. Probably second favorite game franchise, for that matter. And I love the Little Mermaid of characters I mentioned on here. Ariel, Little Mermaid, very feisty character, and definitely was one of the first, I think, female characters in Disney fairy tales to not be the submissive type, but to be more outgoing and much more energetic, and could relate better to like teenage girls, I believe. Not the best, though, some of the messages in, but to be fair, it's all, of course, the fairy tale. The animated movie was much less dark than the original story was. Cloud is pretty much obviously a fan favorite from Final Fantasy VII, and personally to me I think is one of the more overrated heroes. I mean, he's cool and all, but I feel he's kind of overrated. Like Final Fantasy VII is the most overrated Final Fantasy game in the franchise. Just saying. That's my opinion. And Jafar. One of my top 3 personal favorite Disney villains of all time. I just love and am obsessed over Jafar. There's only probably 2 Disney villains I like more than Jafar personally, for me. Number 11. Hercules. From, of course, Hercules. And, of course, main character at, obviously, the Colosseum. Oh, yeah, and also I forgot. Honorable mention to Philoctetes. My bad. Next honorable mention for number 11, Aladdin. From, of course, Aladdin, which was a very interesting protagonist. And Aladdin is probably, like, if somebody asks me personally what my favorite, like, animated Disney movies are of all time, Aladdin would be in probably my top 5 favorite animated movies of all time. Disney, or in general. But I love the character Aladdin. He's just really interesting. Okay, maybe not super in-depth character, but he's pretty cool. I mean, of Disney characters, he's one of the cooler characters in Kingdom Hearts, hands down. And the last one is probably my number 2 or number 1 favorite animated Disney villain of all time. Scar, from The Lion King. Or as some people have referred to him as, Lion Jafar. Which I can kind of see. And I like what one person said best about Lion King, which is, it's like animal version of Hamlet, for more or less. Well, except Simba didn't kind of snap and kill himself, just saying. But, indeed, tied at number 11, Hercules, Aladdin, and Scar. All very awesome Disney characters. And all awesome characters also, to be fair, in the Kingdom Hearts universe. Okay, coming in at number 10, Naminé, which of course was a nobody. And as well as she worked, of course, obviously for Ansem the Wise. And she was a character introduced in, of course, Final Fantasy, in Kingdom Hearts Chain of Memories, and played a bigger role in, of course, Kingdom Hearts 2, obviously. And Next up, at number 10, Merlin. The awesome wizard Merlin from Sword in the Stone animated movie. And he's a pretty cool character. Of course, he debuted in the very first Kingdom Hearts. And he's been in more than one Kingdom Hearts game. And rightfully so. He is a pretty cool character in the Kingdom Hearts universe. I like he has his town and stuff in Hollow Bastion. That he's there. And he's also in Birth by Sleep as well, which is pretty cool. And the last, at tied for number 10. Leon, a.k.a. Squaw. Squaw, obviously, for Final Fantasy VIII, which, by the way, is my all-time favorite Final Fantasy game. Just saying. Which is one of the most underrated games in the entire franchise. But Squaw, a.k.a. Leon, he's awesome. I mean, he's even cooler in Kingdom Hearts than he is in Final Fantasy VIII. And people who actually bash him in Final Fantasy VIII think he's a better character in Kingdom Hearts. Now, if somebody was to ask me my personal favorite, top tier favorite Kingdom Hearts characters, Squaw Leon would probably be my top 5 favorite Kingdom Hearts characters, period, in the franchise. That's just me, and of course I'm obviously biased for him. But since it's overall opinion, that's why he's tied at number 10. So obviously my opinion does not influence this list. Coming in at number 9. Between two characters for 9th place. Captain Jack Sparrows from Pirates of the Caribbean. And he's tied with Axel of Organization 13, or in Dream Drop Distance, goes back to his original self, which he was in Birth by Sleep, which is Lee. L-E-A, not L-E-E. L-E-A is how it's pronounced, at least most of the time in Japan, Japanese culture. But Axel has definitely become a fan favorite, thanks to, his debut was, of course, in Chain of Memories, though he played a pretty decent role also in Kingdom Hearts 2. He was awesome, of course, as Lee and stuff in Kingdom Hearts Dream Drop Distance, and as his younger self in Birth by Sleep. And of course, he was one of the main characters in 358 Over 2 Days, which is, personally, I feel, probably one of the sadly less played games in the series, though is understanding. Personally, for me, if somebody asks me, probably my personal favorite Kingdom Hearts that I feel is most underrated would probably be my second favorite in the 7 games, which is Birth by Sleep is my second favorite Kingdom Hearts. Number 1 favorite is Kingdom Hearts 2. Though I know most people say Kingdom Hearts 1 is their personal favorite or something like that. But that's just me, keep in mind. And coming in tied at number 8 is 2 characters again. Jack Skellington from, of course, Halloween Town, or rather from The Nightmare Before Christmas by Tim Burton. One of my personal favorite directors of all time. Jack Skellington, which is an awesome character, of course, in the musical stuff, he was originally voiced for singing and stuff done by Danny Elfman himself, which was awesome. Jack Skellington has definitely become a hugely popular character over the years. It blows my mind because I remember when I was younger and I first saw that movie, popularity-wise in the early 90s, it wasn't that big. It just gained a huge cult following as the years progressed for some reason. It just became more and more and more popular. It blows my mind how popular that Jack Skellington has become over the years. He's become now one of the top 10 probably most popular animated characters in the entire Disney universe, which blows my mind. Of course, he's obviously one of the most popular among Kingdom Hearts characters, and at no surprise, because of course he was in Kingdom Hearts 2, and trying to remember. I think he may have made an appearance in 358 over 2 days. It's been a while since I played that game, so I'm trying to remember. And I'd say he'll probably return in Kingdom Hearts 3 most likely. Just because Halloween Town's so popular. And tied with him at number 8, Pete. Which, of course, actually appeared in the very first animated Disney short animated thing ever done. That's right. He debuted the exact same time as Mickey Mouse did. That's interesting. Pete is as old as Mickey Mouse is, age-wise. He's been around just as long because started out in Steamboat Willie. Which is very interesting. In the earlier days, Mickey Mouse wasn't the nice guy like he is today. Technically speaking, Pete was more in the right in that short. Over the years, he's changed multiple times, and of course, he became in the Kingdom Hearts universe. He debuted in Kingdom Hearts 2. He was also in Recode and also appeared in Dream Drop Distance, and even made appearance also in Birth by Sleep. So he's appeared in 4 out of the 7 games thus far, which is not bad. And he's more or less, at least in 2, is basically the henchman or the right-hand character of Maleficent. Coming in at number 7 is a 3-way tie between 3 particular characters. The first is a villain exclusively so far only in Birth by Sleep. Vanitas, which is the evil version of course, Ventus. Or Van, as they say in the game. Yeah, he's the evil version. He was originally one being in split, good from evil. Ventus being the good, and of course there's a reason why he looks identical to Roxas. And of course Vanitas fights in a special outfit with obviously a helmet over his head covering who he is. Interesting fight style. He is one of my personal favorite challenges in Birth by Sleep game. I love getting to fight him multiple times. And on average you fight him with each character about 3 times, which is pretty fun, and each time he just gets more tough, which is what I like, that kind of challenge. And tied with Vanitas is Ansem, which of course debuted in the very first Kingdom Hearts. And of course Ansem is the Heartless of, obviously, Xehanort. Ansem is a very interesting character. Of course, he named himself after Ansem the Wise, obviously. But Ansem has become definitely a fan favorite over the years, I will say. Now, in strength-wise, he is a good challenge, though he's not as tough as his Heartless, his Nobody counterpart. And also tied at number 7 with those is perhaps one of the most overrated villains ever. Though I will say I actually think he's cooler in Kingdom Hearts than he is in Final Fantasy VII. And that being Sephiroth. Da-da-da-da. Felt like doing it. But he's got pretty much the coolest villain music ever. I will say, of any antagonist from Final Fantasy, he's got the best theme ever. And even more so with the metal version by the Black Mages, of course, in Advent Children movie. Even more epic with the electric guitar, metal music combined with the opera. That's just amazing. Coming in at number 6, tied between 2 characters. Sora's Nobody, Roxas, and Kairi, which is the dear love interest, obviously, of our main protagonist. And, of course, that being Sora. Yes, Kairi is tied at number 6, obviously because she's become a big fan favorite, and she is one of the main characters in the main story arc of the series, obviously. And she actually appears as, of course, a little kid, as all 3 main characters in the game Birth by Sleep, which for those who have not actually played Birth by Sleep, story and timeline-wise, Birth by Sleep takes place exactly 10 years prior to the original Kingdom Hearts game. And yeah, it's a prequel, but it's a epic, well-done prequel, I want to add. Very good, very in-depth story, and it's fun getting to play the game with 3 separate characters, and each with their own styles. One relies more on speed, one relies on magic, one relies more on strength and durability, which is what makes them interesting. And you have to beat the game with each to unlock the entire storyline of that game, which was a more unique original idea for Square. So I give them points for trying new things. And I like the magical combat system the most in that game. I think it's the best combat system out of all the Kingdom Hearts games. That and probably, then after that, probably Dream Drop Distance on the combat systems. Kairi, I forget the actress's name that voices Kairi, but she's the one who played the cheerleader in Heroes. That's right. Save the cheerleader, save the world. The one who cannot die, even after her power was taken by Sylar. It's really interesting. And of course, that being Claire Bennett. Yeah, the actress who plays Claire Bennett does the voice of Kairi, which is pretty cool. And Roxas, I think, has definitely become a fan favorite, though he's really only been in Kingdom Hearts 2 and made a brief appearance in Dream Drop Distance. Spoilers for those who have not played every game in the series, unlike I have played all 7 games, I can honestly say. So at least I know my facts with these characters and things. Tied at number 3 is number 5 is a Disney trio that's been around for decades. Goofy, which interestingly enough was the inspiration for Jar Jar Binks in Star Wars. Yep, someone I just found out recently about from George Lucas. Also, Donald Duck, which in the game, interestingly enough, is a wizard and fights with magic, of course, while Goofy sticks to more physical attacks. And, of course, the third and final, King Mickey, which is truly, I guess, a Jedi Master now. And, of course, he wields a Keyblade also in the series. And he's pretty much in every single game in the series. All 7 games he makes an appearance in. He's one of the only characters that's made an appearance in every game in the franchise. Pretty much. That's about it. Coming in at number 4, a tie between 2 villains, which debut in the first one. And, interestingly enough, both of these characters were also in Birth by Sleep, because we got to see the more earlier versions of them. That being the great villain and perhaps the greatest, at least not personally for me, but in general popularity-wise, probably the most infamous villain ever. And she was really the first, I think, major, female villain in Disney animated movies. Well, I take that back, not the first. The first was the Evil Queen from Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs, the first fully length animated film. But Maleficent and Sleeping Beauty, which was in the 50s, I believe. But she was incredible and such a dark character. I'm really not sure how I feel nowadays after they last year did. Don't get me wrong, I love the movie Maleficent with Angelina Jolie, but they tried to turn her into an anti-hero from a true blood villain. I just don't know why they did that. She was darker in the G-rated animated movie than she was in the PG live-action film. I mean, why Disney? Why you feel like you have to change a great antagonist like Maleficent into an anti-hero? I may never know. And of course, tied with her is another one of my personal also favorite villains, and a lot of people's favorites. So I don't like how the Hercules animated film is not close at all to mythology. I really don't. But oh well. Tied at number 4 is Hades, Lord of the Dead. Hades has left the building. I just felt like saying that. But he's awesome. And of course, when I remember in the movie, like when Pegasus went by, blew his fire on his head, blew it out, and he was like, what happened? Did my hair go out? Hilarious. He's just hilarious. I love the guys who voiced Hades. And I've loved every time I got to fight him in the Hades Cup and in the Coliseum. That's one thing that made me happy about at least Birth by Sleep. I got to face Hades again. And top of it, I got to face Hades in a double team fight. Hades in the Coliseum, like the final match. Hades with the Earth Titan, or Rock Titan rather, which was a lot of fun. Now, if you play in the normal like tournament thing, where you go to a separate world and stuff, and you play all these times and face final bosses at the end, you get to face a pretty fun challenge, which is the mid-fight ends up Hades and Zack double-teaming you. Then the final fight is, of course, against the Ice Titan, which is a lot of fun. I love fighting the Ice Titan. Coming in at number 3, tied with 3 characters, and all from Birth by Sleep. Terra, the good, strong, young fighter, which ends up being possessed by Xehanort. And, of course, becomes the young Xehanort, basically, is why he becomes. And then he's defeated, of course, in the game by Aqua, spoiler, and ends up divided, of course. And you end up, of course, with Ansem, the Heartless, and the Nobody version, head of Organization 13. And the next of these 3 characters, of course, also from the game, the one which looks pretty much identical, just an outfit, different design, hair basically all the same and everything, to Roxas, and that being Ventus, or Van as they say, which is pretty cool character. Can be annoying at times, but he does have the speed and fights a lot like Sora. And then we have my personal favorite of the 3 characters from Birth by Sleep, Aqua, which is the one who becomes the actual Keyblade Master. And she specializes with magic abilities in her in-game fighting. And oh my word, it's fun playing with her. She's got great speed still. When you do her like little axles and stuff, so easy to dodge opponents' attacks with her. It's just so easy and fun. And using her magic abilities are a whole lot of fun. And now, number 2, tied between 2 characters. First of, Sora's close friend, Riku, which of course you get to play with, which I enjoy in Kingdom Hearts Dream Drop Distance 3D. A lot of fun and interesting style. Tied with him is, of course, the head of Organization 13 and the Nobody version of Xehanort, Xemnas, from the main antagonist of course, Kingdom Hearts 358 over 2 days and Kingdom Hearts 2. And he also appears, and you have to fight him in Dream Drop Distance as well. And you also have to face Ansem also in that game, which is kind of interesting. But I love Xemnas. Personally, for me, Xemnas, I probably like 10 times more over Ansem. Xemnas is just a much more interesting, developed character. And also, you gotta love that anime hairstyle he has. He looks like a character from that could easily go in like the DBZ universe, just the way he looks. And I love the black robes and everything of Organization 13. That's why I love Kingdom Hearts 2 so much. I love Organization 13, and I just love Xemnas. He's so cool and awesome looking, and the guy who does the voice acting, such a deep voice, so intimidating, and just cool. Now, tied for number 1, I think is not a surprise to many people. The main protagonist of the series, Sora. Everyone saw that coming. And the other one, really the one who ends up becoming the main antagonist of the series, Master Xehanort. Voiced by the late Leonard Nimoy. Which, I'm just wondering who is going to voice Master Xehanort now, because Leonard Nimoy did such an amazing job voicing him. I mean, he was already an interesting looking character, but when you add the great voice acting of Leonard Nimoy combined with the character, he just made Master Xehanort that much cooler and more intimidating. And much more interesting because of the way he spoke. And you could tell he wasn't just phoning it in when he was doing the voice acting for the character. He really did give emotion and stuff in his voice performance. And I have to think that about passed away now great actors. Leonard Nimoy was an awesome actor. And truly, I speak for all of us out here in Kingdom Hearts fans and in general, fans of science fiction, everything, that of course we all miss you, Leonard Nimoy. And the same thing goes to other great voice actors like Christopher Lee and Robin Williams. 3 of the best voice actors ever. And I thank them for all the great things, films, and voice acting they've done over the years. And I hope you enjoyed this list for the top 12 Kingdom Hearts characters, though it was certainly more than that. I agree. I shouldn't have done 2 or 3 per spot, but that's just how it did, and the video ended up a little longer than I wanted as a special top 12. But anyways, as always, this is GokuSunDBZ signing out. Follow me on twitter.com/GokuSunDBZ. Also on Google+. Please thumbs up this video. Leave a comment below. Tell me who your favorite Kingdom Hearts characters are. And give me ideas for future top 12 lists or comic book reviews. Or, in general, anything else. Maybe you'd like me to review or talk about Kingdom Hearts games. Let me know. And also, please subscribe. Let people know about my channel. And I'll see you all soon enough on my comic book reviews. And of course, the first one will be issue 7 of Star Wars. So stay tuned for that.